Hello everybody. Today we're going to share something which I'm very excited about, which is the crow jump back, a practice that is often cued in the vinyasa class, but not often there is awareness about how it's actually done. It's something that teachers introduce, but they don't really pay attention to how do I actually do it. And it's a pretty scary transition but once you manage it once, then your body will have the memory and you'll know how to do it over and over and over again. So I'm going to start here today with a very steady crow, and then from that crow we're going to practice the jump back and the flow. Okay, so we're going to start with the crow setup, which essentially requires some preparation. So you can do some push-ups, making sure you're warm, make sure your wrists are prepared and your core is prepared. Is the Mula Bandha and the Uddiyana Bandha, which is very essential here. So it is the engagement of the muscle group between the sitting bones and the pubis and pulling the navel to the spine. Now for the Bakasana, there are multiple options essentially. They call it Kakasana as well sometimes. Is essentially the positioning of the knees on the arm. The more accessible one is where we have the knee in this little hole behind the armpit. So about here there's this little cavity that you can find. There is the first one, but even more basic option is to kind of really put the elbow inside of the knee, like here, this space between the upper and the lower leg. You can really kind of slide it in between. Then what is very important is also the Hasta Bandha. It's the connection with the hands and spreading the hands out like you are a frog and you're just kind of gluing your hands to the floor. So you really have this like sucking motion, trying to pull the center of the palms up. A very common mistake that people do here, a very common, not mistake, but yes, error, is that people stay here. So they are here. And what you see is that my shoulders are over my wrists. But actually, I want to bring my elbows over my wrists. So my chest is going to lean fully forward. And I'm going to have the same shape that I have in a Chaturanga. But then I'm doing a Chaturanga with my knees on my upper arms. The chest remains open and the gaze is to one point, which will help to focus the mind. Chest remains open because if we collapse and we look down, we go down. So we kind of want to look a little bit forward out and the chest remains open. So don't drop the chin, but keep it kind of lifted a bit as you avoid any tension in the neck. So chest very open, hugging the elbows in like a Chaturanga, having a protraction of the shoulder girdle, so an activation there, navel to spine, and then you're just going to start to wherever the arms are, starting to lean forward. Buttocks are up, chest is lifted, and you just come to the shape and you try to hold here first for 5, breathing, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go back. Always when you do this, you always want to counter stretch. You always want to take a moment to counter stretch. Okay. And then with the jump back, oh my God, you can always put a cushion to the front, and this is always a good idea, even if you're not practicing the jump backs even. This way, if you're going to fall on the cushion, which is a bit less scary. You can do the jump back from here, or you can put it higher onto the arms, but as we are here, what you want to do for the jump is that many times I see people go back. So instead of keeping their magical shape where you are in that 90-degree angle and really forward with the shoulders far forward and the elbows over the wrist, people come back and then the buttocks lower and they fall out. But you really want to have this magical angle where we are here and where the legs are already ready to shoot them back. So then I can make a little hop, just landing there. So you just want to kind of have that release and just feeling that motion of releasing the legs and jumping them back. Then eventually we're creating a little bit more of momentum, really engaging the core, being here, pressing through the hands, keeping the chest exactly where it is, and then jump the legs back. Initially you'll probably be pancake on the floor. Then eventually you really want to keep it here in this Chaturanga, and then we transition. A very good way to really become mindful of that chaturanga shape is to, of course, practice your regular jump backs as you are flowing through your vinyasa, and really always holding it as you shift forward. Okay. And then from here, you can come in step or jump to seated, making sure again you finish also off with taking care of the wrists. And one little thing is to really try to avoid jumping one and then the other leg. Is something I did for a long time, and it was very hard to unlearn it. So you really rather take it slow and learn it properly than to learn the body a mechanism that's going to be way harder to unlearn than to relearn. So try to really do it from the beginning like that, and always take into account that a lot of those building new muscle memory in the body is a lot about trusting the body, because we cannot approach those things from the mind, and especially not from the limitation in the mind. It's very common to feel like, I cannot do this, and then even your body knows how to do it. So trust your body, find the separate cues of engagement, and just keep going. And the moment you let go of the result, you let go of wanting to be there, and you just commit on showing up and do your best, then the magic will happen. So I hope this was helpful for you to practice your Bakasana into Chaturanga Dandasana transition. Let us know in the comments below how it goes. Maybe share some of your videos, and if it goes well, tag us, and we hope that we can bring your practice to a new level on all levels, not just physically, but in all layers of your being. Thank you so much, and see you soon.